if the people find out how they've been ripped off and enslaved in this country by the government, they will revolt.
Hey guys, this is just a message to the government of India. If you don't know what has happened in India recently, I suggest you read a few articles. I'll leave a few articles linked below to kind of give a more detailed description of what's currently going on, but I'll just give you a brief description now. So basically, the Indian government, overnight with no warning to anyone, they've basically frozen everyone's bank account and all the ATMs closed for 2 days, and some of them still aren't even working now, and this happened close to a week ago, so really not cool at all. The reason that they did it is to try and eradicate black money. If you want to know more about the black money situation, look in the description box below for some articles. I do agree that black money is a terrible thing and it needs to be dealt with, but if it's affecting the common man this much, it's just terrible, because I've seen lines outside banks for ages. I've lined up a few times at banks. It's taken 3 to 4 hours to get a very small amount of money because you're very limited to access money. I'll give you a quick example. Say if I have 10 1,000 notes of the old money and I want to change that into new money, right? So I have to line up at the bank 3 times to get that changed, and sometimes these lines can take up to 4 hours. You can only exchange up to 4,000 rupees at a time. So 4,000 rupees is the equivalent to somewhere around $70 US, I'm gonna guess. I'll put the actual amount below. So I can only get that much for one time of lining up for 4 hours. Every single bank in the city that I'm currently staying in Bangalore has huge lines outside them. Some banks are actually running out of currency because there's just a huge demand. I have to either give out the old 100 notes or 2,000 rupee notes. You can just imagine how long it takes just to get a small amount of money. And as far as ATMs go, all the ATMs around the area that I'm staying in right now have absolutely no money left. As soon as they're filled up, there's a huge line and then they're empty straight away. At the moment, you're only allowed to withdraw 2,000 rupees at a time from the ATMs. And as a foreigner using a foreign card, I'm getting charged 3% and then another charge to use the ATM. I think another 200 rupees to use the ATM. So let's say I get out 40 New Zealand dollars. I'm going to be paying another $6 to get that money. So I'm paying $46 to get $40. And I mean, this is fine to pay these fees. Say if you're withdrawing like $300 at a time, which is what I normally do, and then slowly spend that. But I mean, if you're just able to withdraw 40 New Zealand dollars, you're paying $6 for that, you can imagine your expenses go way up. To me, it's daylight robbery because I have no option and I have to eat and I have to sleep. So there's a little example for you. They've run out of cash in so many ATMs. Almost 50 people, last time I checked the numbers, I don't know if it's increased since then, have died since this has happened. The different ways that people have died, there's been suicides from people working in the banks because of the stress. There's been old people who have had heart attacks because they've lined up in the bank and it's just been too hard on them. There's been people trampled to death outside the banks because people really need the money and they'll do anything to get it. I've seen people outside banks fighting police officers. I've seen police officers push back women. It's just terrible. I mean, yes, black money is terrible, but are you going to starve the common person that hasn't done a thing wrong and is just trying to feed their family? I mean, personally, I really don't think it's a good way to do this. And obviously this affects the Indian citizens a lot more than me, but I'm going to tell you from a tourist perspective. From my experience, the Indian government has done nothing to help the tourists. I've been into the bank and they've told me they can't serve me, and they've told me to go to the police station. I've been to the police station to try and access money so I could get accommodation and food for the night. The police station said, sorry, our officer's on leave, and I said, what can I do? Because you're the government, so I'm coming to the government. They just said, can't help you. So great work. India has a huge tourism industry, and if they want to keep that up, I suggest they don't drop these kind of bombs on the tourists. Like, you're cutting off all money. Not to mention the small businesses that only take cash. What they did is they took away 500 and 1,000 rupee notes, and they've just been producing 2,000 rupee notes. And anyone that's been to India knows it is very hard to spend a 1,000 rupee note because absolutely no one has change. And so India released a 2,000 rupee note, and you try to give a 2,000 rupee note to an average man down at the shop to buy some food, they're not going to have change. You're not going to be able to eat, you're not going to be able to get accommodation. No one has change. The only thing that you can use here, which you can spend as much as you want, is your debit or credit card, and not many people have debit or credit card machines in this country. So sorry about the rant, guys, but it's been an absolute hassle for me. It's actually affected me releasing videos because I was unable to access money to buy a new computer when my last one broke. I ended up having to do an international bank transfer, and that was the only way that I could access money, which cost me $30. Anyway, so that's my rant. I'm sorry for a bit of a negative vlog, but I just wanted to get this out there. I don't know if the government's gonna see it, but worth a shot, right? I'm gonna stop there. I could keep going with the amount of flaws that the Indian government's done and what the Indian government has been putting the citizens of India through and what they've been putting the tourists through. So that's my stance on it. I know a few people are happy about it due to dropping in taxes, etc. But anyway, I'll leave it in your hands to decide what you think, and that's my personal take on it. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next video. And the next video, I promise, will be a bit more happy, but it's just been an absolute struggle for what's been happening here. So thanks for watching. I'll see you in the next happy video. Take care. See you later.
Bitch better have my money. Play down, call me on my blood. Pay me what you want it. Ballin' bigger than LeBron. Bitch, give me your money. Who y'all think y'all from?